Look at this heaven. Layer of crumb, fresh rhubarb, fresh strawberries. Look how perfect the layers are. When I think of springtime desserts, I immediately think of strawberry rhubarb anything. I think of strawberry rhubarb pies, and then I also think about strawberry rhubarb crumble bars. Sometimes you see crumble bars having a raspberry filling, a strawberry filling, but I make strawberry rhubarb crumble bars. And I make them even more exciting by adding crumbled up macaroons. So for you coconut lovers, this springtime dessert is gonna blow your mind because I eat like many bars in one sitting. So let's get started. We're gonna start off with the crumble topping and the layer on the bottom that will hold the fruit in place. Okay, so I have here some all-purpose flour, and I have some just classic old-fashioned rolled oats. I'm gonna add that right in. And then I have some light brown sugar, and this is gonna add a really nice kind of like stickiness, a nice sticky texture that's gonna bind all the ingredients together, and it also has a really nice rich molasses taste. And then I have just a little bit of baking soda to help these bars rise and become a little bit cakier. And then I have my stars of the show. So all I did was I just bought some macaroons in the grocery store. They usually sell them in the like bakery section. And I just crumbled them up into little bite-sized pieces. How many of these did I eat when I was crumbling them? That's the question. So I'm gonna add the crumbles right into my mixture. And then you're probably wondering like, okay, this is a nice crumble, but how am I gonna bind these all together? So I have a little bit of vanilla extract here, just a dash of vanilla extract. And then the binder, the real binder, is melted butter. And I use salted butter because I just figure, you know, instead of adding another ingredient, salt, why don't we just add salted butter? And I got my big spoon here. I can see my reflection in here. Oh. And I'm going to mix all of these ingredients together into a beautiful crumble. Look at this heaven. The crumble is crumbled. I've been stealing bites of raw crumble while I'm mixing. Every stroke, take a bite. So we're going to set this aside as much as I don't want to. And I have here a beautiful bowl of fresh rhubarb and fresh strawberries. I'm gonna show you how I cut them. So, first of all, this is what rhubarb looks like typically in the grocery store. Sometimes you're gonna see the remnants of what looks like leaves on the end, and beware, the leaves are poisonous. Do not eat them, take them off. But oftentimes you'll see them just come in the grocery store just like this. And if you haven't tried rhubarb before, rhubarb is quite sour. So you really need to balance it out with strawberries or with sugar to make it not so sour. So you're just going to cut it in half like I did, and then you're going to give it a nice dice. I would say about a 1/4 inch dice. This is our rhubarb, and then we have our strawberries. And if you haven't cut strawberries into slices, all I do is I just take the top off, just like that, rest it on the flat side, and then you just want to make relatively thin slices, but they don't need to be crazy, crazy thin. So then I need to add a binder to our strawberry and rhubarb mixture, our sweet and our sour. And I really like adding a little bit more rhubarb than strawberry because the strawberries are very full of water, and they're really going to make your mixture watery when it's cooked. So I like a little bit more rhubarb, but then to balance it out, because the rhubarb is sour, you want to add a decent amount of just regular white granulated sugar. And then I add just a little bit of an acid. So you can either use like a lemon juice or an orange juice, and it really just kind of like balances all the flavors together and enhances the flavor of the strawberry and the rhubarb. And then finally, this is the real binder here. This is cornstarch, and you want to add just a little bit of cornstarch, about a tablespoon or so, into your mixture because you don't want the filling to be super runny. And the cornstarch will thicken it when it bakes. You can also sub just regular all-purpose flour for the cornstarch, but honestly, the cornstarch is what really thickens it. It is time to assemble. How easy was that? Super foolproof, even if you're not a baker. So, I have my crumble mixture. Make sure it's still nice and mixed. And we're going to kind of draw a line down the center a little bit, just so we see each half of the mixture. And then you can see here, I have an 8x8 glass dish here. This is like a baking dish for brownies or bars. And I'm just gonna scoop about half of that mixture. By the way, it's greased. You wanna make sure that your baking dish is greased, right into the bottom. And then you're going to use the back of the spoon plus your hands. I find that using a hand works really, really well, almost better than the spoon. And you're gonna make a solid layer of crumb on the bottom, just like a crust. So we have a solid layer of crumb that's really, really even all throughout the pan. And then I'm going to take my strawberry rhubarb mixture. And you might want to use like a little slotted spoon here just to catch some of that extra liquid. And you're just gonna pop all of the strawberry and rhubarb into one single layer. So you can see that there's quite a bit of liquid in here, and that's from our orange juice and sugar mixture. It really draws the moisture out of our strawberries and helps dehydrate them a little bit. So it looks like there's a lot of fruit here, but I'm telling you, it really isn't once it cooks down. And it'll be so balanced with our topping. So the last step is I'm just going to take the other half of my crumble and put it on the top. You want to pack it down a little bit, but you don't want to press it down like you did with the bottom layer. Our bars are ready to go in the oven. You can kind of see, look how perfect the layers are. Yum! I already want one and it's not even done. I'm gonna stick these in the oven at 350 for about 40 to 45 minutes. About halfway through, you may want to just gently lay a piece of foil over the top if you're seeing that the crumble is getting a little bit too brown. So I'll see you then. So if there's one piece of advice I give you, let your bars cool completely, or else you're going to end up with a lovely, delicious pile. But if you have no willpower like me, just eat it warm. Don't let it cool, and don't mind what it looks like. And that's what I'm doing right now. Warm bars, how could you resist? Where's my vanilla ice cream? Hello? Big bite, oh no. The tartness of the rhubarb is everything. It's not overly sweet. The strawberries add a little bit of sweetness to it, but not too much. And the crumb topping is crunchy, but also soft and so buttery. Check this recipe out on tastefullygrace.com. You won't regret it. Round up your rhubarb, everybody. It's time for a rhubarb show. Let's go. It was supposed to be funny.